Okay. Okay, let's see, Dennis. Let's continue though. Today we are going to talk about extensions, customizations, and personalizations in the Fusion applications. How can we extend the Fusion applications? How we can do some customizations over there, or how we can do some personalization. What do I mean? I categorized any changes on the Fusion application pages. I categorized into three parts. One is extensibility, other one is customization, the third one is personalization. When I say extensibility, it is nothing but creating a completely new business object or a page on a Fusion applications. Okay, so completely new. Basically, when I say completely new business object or a completely brand new page, what do I mean? If it is a brand new page, means I had to create my own custom page. If I wanted to create my own custom page, then I have to go to the SaaS model, because in SaaS model, I don't have access to the application server to deploy my own page, right? So in extensibility, most of the extensibility can be done in the PaaS model if you want to go with a new brand new page, basically. Okay. Sometimes if you wanted to add a new business object, like new business object means if you want to add a new attribute to the existing screen, Oracle has given around 30-40 fields, and apart from that you want to add a new field. In those cases we have to rely on the flex fields. That is called, we have three kinds of flex fields: descriptive flex fields, extensible flex fields, and key flex fields. Using flex fields you can add more number of attribute user defined fields over the screen. We can call that as extensibility, but if you wanted to add a new attribute or a new field over the screen, then you will go with the flex fields, basically. Okay. And customization means changing an existing business object or a page, modifying the existing page, changing the properties of existing page. In the page, if you wanted to modify the field level properties, or in that page you wanted to hide one field or made one field required, or change the text of the field, change the label of that field, or change the color of that button, or change the foreground color, background color, change the appearance of the Fusion applications. If you wanted to do anything on top of the actual application, all those things I would call them as a customization. Sometimes we call it as personalization as well, but I have mentioned personalizations here. Basically, for each user can also change the properties on the application. What do you mean by that? Example, if user want to change the time zone of the application, if user go and change the time zone, that time zone is specific to that user. If user want to change the language in which he or she wanted to read the application, that language preferences are specific to that user. So which is, we have some properties which are specific to the user. Every user of the application makes certain artifacts to get changed at runtime, basically. So with this, what I would say, extensibility, I would call it as a PaaS model most of the part. But when coming to extending or adding a new fields, that again we can do in SaaS model using the flex fields concept. And customization, as I said, we can change the properties of the page, basically, right? So this customization we can do in 4 different levels, basically. One is at role level. Role level means we can make some changes on the page which will show up only to that specific job role or to the specific data role. We can do like that. Or we can also make changes which are visible only to the specific country. Only for US employees, this field should show as a mandatory, or for only this country, we wanted to show some certain fields. If you wanted to change the field level property, we can do at country level. And also if you wanted to, we can do some changes at organization level. Organization level basically at business unit level, at division level, at department level. These are all called organizations. If you wanted to apply those changes of the on the application, customizations on the application at organization level, we can do. And also at site level means it will supersede everything. Basically, if you change, if you do any change at site level means that will be applicable to everyone. Okay, and you did one change at site level and you did another change at organization level. Whatever we change happened at organization level, that will take place instead of site level. Okay, so we will do that changes anyway. But in the pass model, as I said, it's specific to the pass application. And user level changes, as I said, every user can go ahead and do the changes on their own, and which is those changes are specific to the user only. Let us say, let me go to the application. I logged in as one user. So this user, basically, if the user wanted to change the language, or whenever user will go to some screens, they will see the date. They want to see the date in their own time zone. Basically, everyone has their own preferences, right? So if they wanted to go there, typically every user will have access in the drop down. They will have something called set preferences, the personalization. If they go to set preferences, there they have ability to change all these values. It will be global to every user will have access to this. They can go and change their language. They can go and change their accessibility mode. If you wanted the screens to get bigger, maybe. And then if they wanted to make the color contrast as high color contrast, font size as a large, if they want to go with the screen reader, all these things are specific to this user. Basically, whatever changes applies to this user, these changes are specific to this specific user only. This won't show up for anyone. Example, if I say font size, then font size will keep showing as bigger. Basically, see the font size gone bigger. So these changes are only applicable to this specific user. If any other user logs in, they can go ahead and do their own settings. Basically, same thing. So watch list proxies. Proxies basically, if you want to change password, they can change password. If you want to change language, they can change the language. What language they wanted to say, they wanted to make default language or some other language. Whenever you choose a language, make sure our translations are in place, and how your name should get displayed in the English language or any other language. You can choose any language preferences here. These language preferences are applicable only to this specific user. So this is what I was saying. All these things are specific to the user level. Personalization at the user level, basically, right? And same thing, expenses preferences at financial cloud level. So how they want to change the expenses preferences? No preferences available here. Nothing is created at the global level. So all these things are specific to the user level. These are called user level personalizations, basically. Okay. So now, that's what I was saying about the personalization. Coming to the customization. This customization, basically, to apply the customization to do any changes over the page, as I was saying previously, we should start with, we cannot do any changes directly on the page. To do any changes directly on the page, you should have a sandbox. Basically, what is a sandbox? As I said, sandbox, basically, it's a tool which is given by the Oracle. By using sandbox, you can do whatever changes you wanted to do over the application. Those changes will get committed into the database until and unless you publish it. Okay, so that is a sandbox. Okay, Oracle has given that tool, basically. So to give little bit feedback, a little bit background about the sandbox, basically. So using the sandbox, basically, you can create a sandbox. You can activate the sandbox. Once you activate the sandbox, you can customize the artifacts, whatever changes you wanted to do. You can go ahead and change the values, change the screen, change your properties, whatever it is. Once the properties are changed, then you have an option to publish the changes. Whenever you publish the changes, then what happens is whatever changes you have done, those changes will get published, it get applied to the baseline code. That's what this sandbox will do basically. So this sandbox, technically what happens is whenever you go ahead and create a sandbox, to create a sandbox you should have an application implementation consultant role, or you should have finance administrator role, or human resource administrator role, or sales administrator role. Whatever administrator role you have access to, then automatically at your username, below the username, you will have a menu called administration. These things will come up if you have that role assigned. And in this role, basically, you will have option to manage sandbox. And it is a place where you have to go ahead and create your sandbox basically. So once you create a sandbox, technically what happens is whenever you go ahead and create a sandbox, internally system will create a save point. Save point means it is a place basically where at the point of creating the sandbox, whatever mainline code, whatever application state is there, that state will be taken as a save point. Okay, and you create a sandbox here. So what I will do, I will create my sandbox RB3B3 day one sandbox. So I'm creating the sandbox. So this sandbox will maintain the state of the applications at this point of time. So if you see, even though if I give a sandbox name as RBTB through day one, it will append a timestamp to the sandbox name. Then with that timestamp, what happens is it will create a metadata service file. It is an XML based file, and that file will maintain the state of the application at that point of time. Okay. And any changes I do on this sandbox, those changes won't get committed into the application basically. So let it get open. Basically, the standard way of doing is create the sandbox with the appropriate name and give the proper description. See that? It got created a sandbox with the name of the label. This is a save point, a label of creation underscore application core long sandbox RTB day one of 1:47:09 p.m. With this name, the sandbox got created. Okay, so if you click OK, it means sandbox is created. This is my sandbox, and last modified is 523, and it modified by this user. And typically, you can go ahead. Sorry. So if you do any changes, then if you click on this page, click on this sandbox link, automatically you could be able to see what files were changed here. Basically, what files were changed, those files list will come here. As it is a brand new sandbox, nothing is changed yet. That is the reason it is blank basically. Okay, so now we have to activate this sandbox. Okay, that is important. Once you activate the sandbox, then you are ready to do any changes, any customizations on the screen. Okay, so now my sandbox is ready. Once sandbox is ready, I can do any customizations on the screen. Okay, so when I say customizations, what kind of customizations we can do basically? Okay, so I will come to this thing again once I talk about customizations. Basically, when I talk about the customizations, we can do many things. We can modify the user interface. When I say modify the user interface, what do you mean by that? When I say modify the user interface, basically changing the look and feel of it, changing the look and feel, or we know we help, right? We have help here. When I click on help, typically what happens, whatever screen you go, basically in whatever screen you go, that screen will have the orange icon showing up there. It means that when you click on that orange icon, it means that it will give us. Okay, so let us say we have question here. Go to any screen, basically where our help is defined. Okay, let me go to some different screen where help is configured. So let us say I want to go to about me page. Let us say I want to go to personal information page. If help is configured for that page, it's not configured yet. Let me go to some scheduled process. If you go to any screen, see that this help is enabled here. What it will say? It will say what you can do on the screen. What is the screen about? That is called help. If you wanted to know help content, actually, if you want to define help content here, or you wanted to modify the text in the help content, or if you want to create a new help content, so all those things again comes under the customizations basically. Okay, and also this is the announcement page here. So in this announcement page, basically this page comes up. This page has announcements like employee news. In the employee news, we can see there's some employee information, employee news here. So this is called announcements. Customizing this page, it's all comes under user interface. So all these modifications you can actually do using this sandbox. And whenever you do the change won't get affected unless you commit the sandbox into the mainline code basically. Okay, and also if you wanted to configure the navigation, apart from modifying the user interface, let us say you wanted to create your own icon here, or you want to create your similar to this. About me is a category. Under this category, we have all these icons here. If you want to create your own category here, under the category you wanted to create multiple page entries, then you have to configure this navigation basically. And while configuring it, when you want to add your own category along with the icons, then you have to modify the spring. You can add that value in the springboard as well, or you can add that value in the navigator as well. So if you want to do that, okay, adding those page category icons are basically you are trying to modify the configuration, or you want to hide this supply chain collaboration. If you want to do those kind of stuff, typically they comes under configuring the navigation. So apart from modifying the user interface, configuring the navigation, and also sometimes in the modifying the in the modification of user interface, sometimes what we wanted to do in place of wherever you see example, let us say wherever I see journals in my company, journals will be called with a different name example. Okay, so wherever we have journals, maybe you wanted to say that wherever I see journals, maybe I wanted to say that in place of journals word, I wanted to call it as something different. Or example, in place of directory, I wanted to call as, company directory or my directory. Wherever you see the directory word in the application, I wanted to replace that user interface text. Okay, I'm not talking about specific to the application. Example, let us say journals is there. If I wanted to rename this journals icon, I can do. What my requirement is, wherever journals is referred in whole Fusion applications, every place that journals keyword should be replaced with some other word. Example. Similarly, if I wanted directory keyword is there, if you want anywhere in my anywhere in the Fusion applications when directory is there, in that place I want to replace with my directory or my company directory like that. Okay, if you wanted to replace the user interface test across the company, across the applications, that is another kind of customization basically, right? So managing the help, and also if you wanted to create your user defined attributes, you have to go with the flex fields, right? So what we will do, let's see configuring this navigation base. Let's start with this, how we can configure the navigation. Example, how I can create my own icon here, and another icon, how can I create my own page entries. Okay, Let us say we have a requirement that in my company, what I wanted to do, I wanted to have an icon here, so saying that my company portal. Under my company portal, I wanted to give a links to different applications here. Example, I wanted to give a link to my company website, or another place I wanted to give link to my custom application, something like that. Okay, I want to create two links under my folder. That's my requirement. So what typically we need to do for that, we need to modify this navigator actually. So for that, we have several tools which we can do. Every tool has its own features. So for that, typically you have to go to more, and we have something called tools. Oh, sorry. We have something called tools, where that tools has set of tools which everything has its own importance basically. Okay, appearance, structure, everything has its own importance. If you see with appearance will talk about what you want, how your application should appear basically. Okay, so example, it is my logo, right? If I wanted to change my logo, example, when we get our when we bought the Fusion applications, typically Fusion applications by default come up with a Oracle logo here. By default, we get Oracle logo here and default background or whatever. Now, if you wanted to provision to your company, typically what you have to first configure your company name here, right? Your company name here, and then you have to configure this, and this is called announcements. This page is called announcements. In this announcements page, typically if you have a social sourcing application licensed with your HCM application or your Fusion application, you can see this icon, see this not icon, see this task. If you don't have sourcing bot along with the Fusion application, typically you won't be seeing this conversation icon here. You will be just seeing this employee news. You won't be seeing any of this information. You will be seeing only this employee news. You won't be seeing my flags too, basically. If you have the social sourcing bot along with the application, then typically you will be seeing this social sourcing functionality, and you will be seeing this my flags. Okay, if you won't have that, then you won't be having any of this. You will just have employee news. Okay, let us see how it comes up, how we can structure this kind of a layout. Okay, for that, and then we will go with the page entry. Let's see how we can provision this screen, basically the fundamental screen. For that, again, you have to go to tools, and then tools, we have something called appearance. In the appearance, you can start with we have two things here. One is with themes, other one is called home page layout. How you want to have your home page layout? It is the current layout now. Okay, so Oracle has given a default layouts here. It is a panel layout. It gives two layout, panel layout and banner layout. Panel layout means this panel comes in the left side. If you go with the banner, this one will go on the top. If it's a banner, it will go on the top like this. Okay, and options. If you have a social, do you want it to have a social option? Then what happens is, along with the social options, as I was showing, let me open a different window so that we can compare. So I'm opening a different window. Let us go with some financial manager. Or some other manager. So let me exit this sandbox basically. So this is another manager basically. This manager, if you see here this manager has social sourcing enabled. That is the reason these are all social sourcing information basically. Example, if you see goals, basically it's actually someone has shared something with this person, or this person has shared something with this other person. So there's a discussion happening here because we have social sourcing application enabled here. That is the reason you will be seeing all the social sourcing information here. Okay, and there is something called employee news, where actually you can see the announcement. If company want to do announcements across the company, then this is called announcements basically. So when you choose social, you will get social, announcement, cover page, everything together. That is what it is. If you choose only, let me go to the panel format, right? If you choose only the announcement, you won't be seeing the social anymore. You won't be seeing this image or these things anymore. You will be just seeing the employee news only. Basically, you will be seeing only the announcements page here. Okay, so if you choose only, if you choose social here, basically what happens is social comes from the front. Okay, so social comes here. When you click on the employee news, automatically it will go to the employee, it will go to that announcement. Employee is nothing but an announcement. You can have n number of announcements in this screen basically. Okay, so that is the importance of social. If you keep only announcements, you will be seeing only announcements here. You won't have any social. And you can see cover image, it will show only the image, nothing else basically. And none means everything will go away and it will show like this. So our company, basically, if our client needs what kind of way they wanted to have, and if they will keep announcements on a proper manner, then we can keep announcements. If they think that no, we don't keep announcements or we can't maintain it, then you can make it as none, or other information basically. Most of companies who won't get the social licensing, basically they'll keep announcements like this. Okay, so let's keep announcements in our case. And social panel photo, basically if we keep social, we have the photo here. So this is a photo. What photo you wanted to keep? Do you want to keep the photo that you uploaded in the HCM application, or you want to get it from your social network profile? Based on that, this image will change basically. So if you have social sourcing enabled, then you can it will be useful, else it's of no use basically, right? So okay, for image purpose, let me keep social only and my portrait for HCM, and let's create some announcements. This is a panel. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do it in the top banner level to make our changes. Okay, so that is apply our changes. So once we apply the changes, then typically what happens is why it is not getting applied. Okay, let's go home to make sure it is. Now I apply the change. Now see here, it came at the top actually. But these changes are not yet affected into the application. Example, I'm opening another window here. If I log out and log in as the same person, you won't be seeing this one for this person, because those changes are not yet committed to the database. Basically, see here, I'm logging in the user, it won't show at the beginning because we haven't committed it yet. We haven't. What do you mean by commit? If you go here and you click on publish, if you go here and then go and publish sandbox, then it means the changes will get committed. See here, once I do the change, what happened here? It is showing that there is a change happened to this file. Previously it is blank, now it populated what is the change happened to the which file and what level this is happened. If you do any theme level changes or structure level changes or structure level changes, everything will be at site level by default. We don't have a provision to choose what level these things will happen. Basically, all those changes will be site level. So here it has there's some data here, and where you can see what changes were happened basically. Okay, so I won't publish it yet. Let me do some more changes. So this time what I will do, I will go here and I'll go to the tools again and go to the appearance again. In the appearance, this time I will change the logo. So we have a logo here. We have to change the logo. To change the logo, we have full provision. We can get the predefined logos, or you can give a URL for the logo, or you can upload the file from this logo. To upload the file, basically what we need to do, we have to resize. We have the size of the logo should be somewhere around 115 pixel to, I think I have written somewhere. Okay. Anyway, the size of the logo should be 115 by 120 pixel size. That's what you have to do. So what I will do, I have my logo here. So I'm going to resize it. I will resize this image to 110 actually, a little bit lower, and apply this. And I will save this image. So vision logo, something like that. I reduced my logo size. So now I will go to the Fusion application. Now I will update my logo. So before updating my logo, typically what you need to do, see, we are modifying existing theme here. So what I will do, instead of modifying before that we have a lot of themes here. Oracle will give a predefined themes here, lot of themes, and these are all the themes which are created by us. Okay, if you go with the Oracle themes, example, Oracle has by default, Oracle might come with a dark blue. If I see that this will have icons, will have like a square and with a blue background image. If I go and save it, apply it, this dark blue, and again this theme. Okay, so BTB1. So if I apply this theme, basically what happens, this theme is applying. See that if I go home, now this theme got applied across my application. It has a default Oracle icon and it has the default theme basically. And as we have this panel, as we have the social source, we, as a layout we created, have kept this panel at the top. It came up like this. So, and this is the predefined Oracle layout because I have chosen the Oracle layout. So we can choose Oracle layout, or we can go ahead and create your own layouts basically. So here what I will do, I am going to create my own layout. For that, what I will do, I will take it and I will say save as my own theme. So I don't apply this theme, but I will say rainbow batch 3 sample. Okay, I'm going to create a new theme here, and what I will do in that theme, I will start modifying basically. So where is my theme? I will go here, and in this I will say logo should be from file, and I will choose a file, and you have the vision logo. You have choose the file. Okay, and do you want to keep any background image basically? Do you need any background image for your application? Basically, background image means what typically happens. What is the background image basically? In this background, you want to keep any image, and you have option. If you choose any image, you have option to. If you choose any image, you have option to say repeat image if the image is not fitting properly. And if you don't want, you can keep it as a none basically. And background color, do you want to keep background color as the blue, or do you want to change it basically? You have a provision to change the background color. Maybe I want to change the background color as something like this. So now with the icons will come up like this. And do you want to change the global text and icon color? And you want to, how do you want to change the global text? Means it is a global text. See here, it is a global icon. It is all white. So we have the white here. White is better. Okay, so we can keep it. And cover image, do you want to keep any cover image? Basically, cover image in sense here. Apart from this image, do you want to keep any other image here? Then you can keep the cover image. And panel style, light color or dark color. How do you want the panel style basically? Panel is, this is the panel. how do you want this panel? You want it light color or dark color based on this color what you have chosen basically. So I'll keep light only. And the navigation icons, these are icons. By default, it is large. Do you want to keep it as a small? Then automatically become a small. Or do you want to keep it as a large, extra large? It will make it larger basically. And image color, what the image color? It has a two colors based on what you choose here basically. And with this color, do you want a monochrome or multicolor? Multicolor means like this, or mono means it's just a monochrome, whatever color we choose. So it has, and the square, do you want the image to be circle or do you want the image to be square? Like that you can choose. Or do you want to say none? Then it will go like this. So I will say a circle. And pages, how the pages color should look like, how the buttons color should look like, we can create all that. Once you have that, then you can apply this theme. Once you apply this theme, and automatically you could see the changes got applied. Now you can see your own image like this. Oh, this white. Basically, I had given global test color as something. I should give something like this. No, probably it won't go into actually. So, oh, it will become blue. Is it? Label color should be blue, and let me do that. Yeah, maybe my color combination is not good. I'm just demonstrating. So once we have that, means we can play around how we want our. It's looking awkward, but so yeah. Now if you see to go home, then typically you could see your company logo here and your own colors here, round colors and whatever thing it is. So it is coming up like this. So here even this banner color, maybe we have to change it something blue or something like that. Then the color coding will be better basically. So this is how we can change the layout colors basically. The global colors or the page colors or text colors, and we can change it accordingly, or you can. Okay, so what I will do, I will go here and apply the previous one, so that it will have the predefined color. Okay, so I'll do that. And image, I will just apply my image.
Actually, this global change or specific?
Sorry, what is the question?
The color change and all, global to the application or specific user?
It's application basically. So any changes you do, the appearance and the structure, appearance or themes or the structure, basically it applies to the whole application. Okay, user don't have access to this, only administrator will have access to this.
Can we do any user level like this?
This structure and appearance we cannot change at user level. It is a site level basically. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is the structure. So this is the appearance actually. Next thing is structure. So appearance will decide all these factors. We can define our configurations based on that. Okay. And another thing here in the structure, as I was saying that we can keep social, announcement, cover image, none. We know image, we know none. Social also, it is, if you have social sourcing module licensing, you can enable that. What is announcements? Announcement, typically what it will do, example, our company wanted to create an announcement. Example, every year basically in US they have to do the benefit enrollments. They have to choose their insurance. They have to choose their medical, dental, vision, like that. So what I will do, I wanted to make sure announcement comes up here. Employee news comes up here saying that, hey, you have to go ahead and choose your benefits. Click here for more details, something like that. Okay, or some other information if you wanted to keep. Then typically you have to create announcements for that. Okay, before creating announcements, let me cover this deep links. So deep link is another very useful functionality. What I see, basically, what is the deep link functionality? What is the deep link functionality is, if you, if example, let's say think of a scenario. We have, let us think of a scenario that, let me go to bottom and create deep links here. So let's think of a scenario. Let me think of a scenario. We need to create. Our company portal is there basically, and it is our company portal. Okay, and in our company portal, and we wanted to, we will be doing many things basically. In our company portal, we have our all information. In that, maybe I wanted to create my, basically something like this. It's in the left side. It's not a Fusion application I'm saying. It is your intranet portal. Think of like that. Okay, and that maybe you wanted to have something like company info. Maybe every company will have their own internet portal, right? Company info, or maybe something like help desk, tickets, right? Maybe contact if you want any help desk, or if you wanted to have employee directory, right? We can have like that, right? Employee directory, and we can make about us, or something like that, or HR portal, or finance portal, something like that. Okay, and we have something like this example I'm saying. Okay, so what the requirement here is, whenever someone clicks on employee directory, means what it is, they have to go to a place where actually they can search for employee, right? So searching the employee functionality is already given by the Oracle. We have something called directory here. This functionality is already given by the Oracle. What all we need to do, they have to go to directory and search for the employee, right? So if they go and click this link, what if they directly go to this page? Okay, so I'm talking, it is again, it's not a Fusion application, it is my company, it's my company portal basically, my company portal where I can, right, it's my company portal. Okay, not Fusion. So it's my company portal. So it's my company portal. In the company portal, I'm doing this. So when I click on employee directory, you should go there. Similarly, maybe I would say expense portal. So whenever they click on expenses, they have to go to iExpenses in the Fusion applications. Similarly, when they click on HR portal, maybe I can define a new, I can define another page only for HR portal here. I can define HR portal here. Again, my company HR portal. Here I would say, again, I would say that click here to apply leaves, okay, and also to apply to submit goals. Okay, I can create my own application basically to submit goals. So what happens when we click on the apply leave, then typically where should they go? They should go to the absence management screen in the Fusion application basically. They should go to their absence management. Maybe they have to go to this, I don't know where it is, not there. Maybe they have, if they want to submit goals, they have to go to this goal screen directly. So if you want to give a direct access to the respective screens, those are called deep links. So Oracle has given a provision, actually they have given a predefined list of deep links. These are all the predefined list of deep links basically. These are all the predefined list of deep links which we can use out of the box. Okay, so HCM, IMPL, HR administrator access, they have the deep links for HR administrator. So if you see directory here, if I click on the directory, it will go to the, let us say open link in new tab, it will go to the directory page directly. So what I do, if I go ahead and copy the link location, then it is my thing. So what I can do, I can give it, I can use the deep link basically. So what I could do, let us say if I go here, example I'm saying, if I go here, HTML body, I'm writing H reference, nothing but here, and I would say click here for employee directory. So I would say like this. I'm writing a simple thing. Okay, so I would write this one. So I would just save it. I would just save it as okay. So I would just save it, saying that company portal example. I'm saying it's not company portal. So save it. So typically, what happens now if I go here and open my page, basically. So if I open my the URL, open that HTML page, then what typically happens? If you open that HTML page, if I click on my HTML page, typically what happens? A HTML page open. Example, if it is a company portal, when I click on employee directory, if you are logged in, you will directly go there. If you are not logged in, to ask for the username and password. You can give any username and password, basically. So let me get the password. In my other screen. So EFB. So logging in. So what is happening here? This link is directly navigating me to the directory page here. See this. So this is absolutely what we need, right? So now these deep links are so useful. Actually, we have to use. We should really explore these things when we create our any application. So how I'm going to use this deep link in my announcements. So what I will do in my announcements, I will create a new announcement here. So I will know announcement, as I said, announcement will show in the application like this. When our employee will go here, and when our employee see here, typically if we have social sourcing enabled, they get the employee news here. If they click on employee news, they could see the announcements here, right? So if I go here, and this announcements functionality is we can make the announcement to stay for certain period. If you example, let us say, as I said, every employee has to go and fill the benefits from December 1st to December 31st. That is during the time frame they have to fill the benefits. Then typically what you will do, you will create a start date as December 1st to end date as December 31st. Only that certain period this announcement will be available. Then I will say here, like benefits enrollment. I would say here like this. And in the content, I can write my content. I can create HTML content here, or I can write my text here. So let's say if I create HTML content, then I would say here, I can write my HTML content here. So I could write here. I would say, or if you don't want that, maybe typically I can write here, maybe saying that flash, something like that. And I would say, please fill your benefit. Please complete your benefit enrollments. Your benefit enrollments, I would say like that. Enrollments by December 31st, 2018, something like that. I would say that. Okay, and yeah, you can now have your own color, or you can have some red color, something like that. And also, if you like to search for HR users, I'm just saying, please click the, please go to the employee directory here, something like that. So in the here, what I will do, I can keep an URL link. Basically, I can add a link here, and this link I would mention my whatever we created, right? I can mention this my directory here, something like that, right? I can do like this. So typically, what happens? So if I preview it, so please please complete your benefit enrollment December 31st, 2018. If you have any search for users, then typically it's going to that navigation basically. Okay, something like that. So if that is so maybe I should open it in the new page. Target is blank. So appearance. No, it is announcements actually. Announcements, and oh, mine is gone. Sorry. So yeah, so I would say please fill enrollment by December 2018. Click here for HR user information. Click here to search HR employee, something like that. So I can say that, and yeah, I convert into this like this, and I would say click here. In the click here place, I can keep a H reference like what we have created, something like this. I would say click here for employee directory. Click here to search for HR employees, and here I would say target is equal to blank. It's HTML, so something like that. Okay, so let me save it. And I wanted to mention as flash. Okay, so yeah, like this. So here I will say blue, and the color will be red. Okay, so that's it. So save and close. So now we have the benefit enrollment enabled, right? So now what I can do, I go to appearance. I can keep the same themes. So what I will do to make it better, I will make it as announcement theme only, so that we can see only announcement here, and apply. Apply. Now if you go to home, then typically you could be able to see the announcements here. 3 announcements here: flash. Please fill enrollments by December 2018. If I click here, you can go to the employee directory page directly, right? So it is the different ways. We have 3 announcements here. We click on 3 announcements. That's what we wanted to. 3 announcements, and we can have announcement like this. Even if you keep social sourcing, what happens? Social page will come here. When you click on the employee news, you could be able to see those 3 things here, right? So that is how we could modify the structure. So let me keep it back with social as well. Okay, yeah, right. So that is the typical homepage, typical provisioning of your system, basically provisioning of your environment, keeping the logo and keeping the colors, keeping the sizes, everything you can set it up. If you see employee news, if you click on employee news, you could be able to see all the flashes. If you want to go back to social source, you can go back to social source. It is a typical way of doing it. So all these things are basically the global changes. Now, as I said, the next level, if you go together, as I said, if you want to create our own category, another own category, we can create your own page entries. How we can do that? The next level of customization. So for that, again, you have to rely on the tools. And in the tools, we have something called structure. And in the structure, basically whatever you are seeing in the navigator. So here, whatever you are seeing in the navigator here, basically these are all components will be visible here. Anything showing up here or showing up in this springboard or showing up in the navigator, everything will show up across the screen here. These are all the values here. These are all the values. Everything will show up here. So which one you wanted to show on the navigator? Navigator means here. Which one you want to show on the navigator and which one you want to show on the springboard? This is the place. And which one you want to show here? All those things will be defined here basically. So whatever is shown as green in color, it means it will show for everyone most of the times. And wherever you see here something is grayed out, there is something called expression language. Means it is saying that there is, based on some certain condition, this screen will display for some people and it won't display for other people. Basically, what do you mean? How do you get access to the screens or menus? Access to the screens or menus comes from the role what we have got assigned. As we are talking to the security, all the screens will be coming to duty role. Duty role will have aggregate privileges or functional privileges. So based on that, these screens will come. Once the access is given based on the roles, then typically after getting that, can we stop access to the screen? Once we got access from the duty role or privileges, is there any way we can stop access? That is the way we can stop access is from here basically. If something is grayed out like this, some access is stopping it. Some condition is there. If the person has this role, then I'm going to talk about EL expression tomorrow in detail. This EL expression is actually saying that if the person has this role, GSC, HCM job role, then true, else false. Okay, only the people who have this job role show this category. For anyone else, don't show it. That's the meaning of it. So there are many places wherever this off gray is there, it means there is some condition involved behind that. Okay, and let us create our new, as I discussed, let us create our own category here, own icon here. Under icon, we create two two page entries. Typically, one is for our company portal, other one is for our company website. Okay, so what I will do for that, we have to go to create here, and again, to enable this create button, you should be in the sandbox. That is important. And again, whatever changes we have done till now, they haven't committed to the mainline code yet. Go here, and we have something called group and category entry. When I say group, it is nothing but a folder like this. Entry means these are all the entries basically. So if I go and create a group here, I can go to group here and I create a group as RB, RD, something like that. Okay, so RB portal like that. And icon, you can choose the predefined list of icons, whatever we have here. I will choose some predefined icon, whatever. We cannot upload our own icon. If you want to have our own icon here, basically you need to contact Oracle and give your icon there. They will upload your icon for you here. Okay, so I'm going to give my own icon, some icon, something like that. Basically, something I will give. Okay, so I have chosen the icon. It is my icon. And do you want to show it on the navigator? Means, do you want to show it on the navigator? Okay, then yes or no. If you wanted to say yes or no, and EL expression, maybe you want to limit it based on some condition, which we'll talk about tomorrow. I want to show it, and save and continue. Okay, so yeah, and then save and close. So we got the group created now, right? So now under the group, what I wanted to do, under this group, okay, so even close, under this group, I wanted to create an icon basically, right? So what I can do, I will go here and click on the page entry, and in the page entry I will say two entries. One is RB portal and icon. My RB portal is some icon I will give. Okay, so do you want to group at top level or where you wanted to keep this icon? I want to keep this icon in my RB. Oh, the same name, right? So RB, I will just say that RB portal, and show on navigator. Yes, I want to show on the navigator. Do you want to show on the springboard? You want to show here? Yes, I want to show it as springboard. And link type, what type of link you are going here? Are you giving a link to another application, basically the employee directory or other deep link, or your own custom application page if you have something configured in the cloud, or you want to give a dynamic URL, or you want to give a static URL? Dynamic URL means based on the user logged in or based on the person role, we can create a dynamic URL or a static URL. I want to create a static URL. And what is the destination? I would say destination as www dot something like that. Okay, and save and continue. So we got that created. RB link got created, right? So please enter something. Yeah. Oh. Is it starting it? Not sure. Okay, so yeah, I hope it works. So save and close. Now another thing I want to create is let us say I want to create a Oracle website directly, maybe. So I'll go here and paste entry. So I will say I'll try to give something for oracle.com. Okay. So yep. And you want to give some icon. Some icon. And where you want to keep it? I want to keep it in RB portal, and I want to show everywhere, and I want to make it a static URL. I want to keep it as this one. That's it. So we got the two icons here. Now typically those two icons will be visible. If you go home, then those two icons will be visible to you in this your website here. So here we have RB, another RB. This change is not applied yet. Okay, it went to Rainbow website directly. So RB here. So RB has two things. So so we have RB. It was an RB portal. Other link is not added yet, basically. So let's go and check whether it is there or not. Did we keep it right place or not? Oh, Oracle is in wrong place. Actually, it's an optional icon. So what I will do, I will go here. I should choose the RB portal here. I gave it a wrong one. Save and close. Now you could able to go ahead and see it. Here now we have RB portal. Under that we have two icons. So again, the right icon as well. So we click on Oracle, it will go to the Oracle. If we click on this one, it will go to the Rainbow one. So here we can add, if we have deployed our own custom application, we can give a link to the custom application here. Or if you have defined our own, we can deep link, you can give a deep link here. You can provision as many things as you want. That is the way you can define the structure here. Okay, we can define the structure here. So this structure actually, if you wanted to place anything on the home screen, if you want to place anything on the navigator, if you want to place anything on the springboard, you should go to this structure to do all those configuration. That is very important to understand. And there is some additional things we have something sorry, we have additional things where we can do expression language. Using expression language, you can limit how the data should show up. Example, sometimes we want to show up, this icon should show up only in the UK country. It should not show up anywhere else. Or it should show up in the people who are in this division, or people who has this role. If you wanted to control that, that programming can be done using expression language, which I will talk about in detail tomorrow. Okay, right. So that is this thing. Now another thing, going one more level. So I'm going back to my I'm going to show this PPT. Basically, it has much more explanation. It takes at least 5-6 days to cover everything. So configuring the help, we have seen the configuring the navigation. Basically, how do you want to configure the navigation? There is another example I was showing. Like example, we have directory here, some word across our company, but in our company they won't call it as a directory, but they will call it as employee directory. That's the word they want to keep it here. How do you change the directory to employee directory in real world? If you want to change only here, how you can go? You can go to the structure and you can modify it from there. You have provision for that. But our example, let me show. You want to change the label, you can go to the structure. Anything on the home page, anything on the navigator, or anything on the springboard, you have a control here. So go here and search for the directory. You will have that directory showing up in 3 places basically. So if you see what place, yeah, so it has 3 places directly. Directory is showing up in this screen. Basically, the group is directory. Basically, this is which is showing up on the navigator. And if you want to change the name, you can change the name here. Okay, let us say, I would say employee directory. We can change it. It will allow. You can change it. So if you say save and close, then this employee directory is changed. Where this employee directory is in, it is under directory basically. So what is this directory? So basically there is a group defined. Under the group there is only one icon. That is the reason you both are showing same. So I can go and save and close here. Then typically if you go home, then I could see it is in employee directory here. And my requirement is, let us say, everywhere where our example directory again here, I want to change it as employee directory as well. So how do you do that? The other way, you can customize the screen and change employee directory, or you go somewhere else. Okay, and you go somewhere else, and there again you wanted to there is directory word is there. So across a Fusion application, example directory word is there. I want to change it as employee directory. How do you do that? You can customize the screen and do that. But what if there are n number of places our directory word is there? Everywhere I want to change it as employee directory. That is a requirement. For that, Oracle has given another tool, and this requirement can be applied to anything with this thing. So Oracle has given another tool basically. Okay, I'm going home, where you can change the directory word in all the places basically. So how you can do that? Now another thing in the tools, again, we have something called user interface text. In the user interface text, using the user interface text, you can search and replace the words across the Fusion applications. Search and replace. What you can do, you can search for the word and replace it, and it will work for all the languages. If you have multiple languages installed in your instances, for every language wherever you wanted to search and replace, you can do that, and it will have singular search and plural search. Example, directory has to replace by my employee directory, directories has to be searched by employee directories. That's my requirement. Then what you can do, it will go and search for everywhere and replace it with replace them accordingly. Okay, so now what I will do, wherever I found a directory, I won't give plural, I will just give, I want to replace it as employee directory. Now a question, we already changed directory to employee directory. Now if I apply this one, that employee directory will become employee directory, because directory will be replaced by employee directory. So how do you want to do that now? So what I will do, we have several options: match complete word or phrase, or match case. Okay, so even you do match complete word or case, I think in our case it will become employee, I mean that employee directory will become, whatever we did the change, it will become employee directory, let it be. So I want to do it match complete word and phrase. And again, where do you want to do the search? Do you want to search on user interface text? It means it includes labels, menus, titles, and other text on user interface everywhere. Or do you want to only change the labels? Means whatever label we have just changed, do you want to change only the labels? Now we are saying we want to replace, we want to change it everywhere, right? So we want to change user interface text, you want to change it for the labels. Labels may be changed already, so I don't want to replace it. Okay, and multi-part validations messages, if there are any error messages or warning messages, in those messages you want to replace it, yes. Enterprise scheduler text, maybe ESS jobs also, it will give the log files, it will give some description. Do you want to change there as well? You can do change everywhere. If you preview changes, it will give the list of all the changes, what it is going to happen in the Fusion applications. It will look for the OTBI place, it will look for the user interface pages, it will look for the message directories, it will look everywhere and give the list of all the changes, what might possibly happen and what we need to do. We have to exclude what we don't want it to happen and apply the changes. Then automatically those changes will get applied across the Fusion applications. It is one of the very useful tool. Sometimes if our company has a requirement to replace the data, replace the phrases across the company, across the screens, and if you have the multi languages installed, and if you want to do some change across the multiple languages also, you can go to the each specific language and you can apply that change. This is another very useful tool. It will take some time because it's going to, you're going to search everywhere wherever the directory keyword is there, and from all the components it will keep pulling the data. Basically, this is one of the important tools. So till now we have discussed about appearance, we have discussed about structures, and we are discussing now about user interface text. And whatever things I am saying till now, everything is a global changes. Those changes will be applied globally. Globally means at site level. Okay. So next thing we are going to discuss is about page level. At each page level, how we can do customizations, and uh, uh, do the customization, what tool we have in place, basically. And and when we do the page level customization, what levels we can do? We can do at site levels, we can do at country level, we can do at organization level, and some screens we have provision to do at role level too. It won't be, every screen won't have provision to do at role level. Almost all the screens has provision to do at site level, country level, organization level, and some screens will have give provision at role level. Okay. And another important thing to note is, and whatever page customizations we do, it is still opening up. Whatever page customizations we do in the Fusion application, page level customizations, for that we use a tool called Page Composer. Page Composer is a tool which is used while it is opening up. I'm going to different screen, different application. So if you want to customize any page, Example, I want to customize maybe about me, personal information is there. I want to customize this page. Maybe I wanted to, if I edit it, I wanted to make sure, example, if I go to my personal information, maybe I wanted to make sure when I try adding my, when I changing my details here, I wanted to make first name as mandatory. And I want to hide prefix suffix. Okay, or when I enter this marital status, I wanted to mask it. I want to make it as, show it as star 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 something like that. Or maybe the screen has some other fields which are not available here. I want to unhide them. So these changes I have to do only for UK or only for US. Or if it is, I have a condition that if it is US, then change the last name as maybe paternal name, something like that. If I want to do like that, then all those things can be done using the page composer tool. Actually, it's a tool, sorry, it's a page composer tool. Okay, so is it open up the previous one? It's still replacing searching. So those changes can be done. These changes are called page level customizations, and page level customizations can be done using the page composer. How we can do that? So let us say, to do any changes, you should always enable a sandbox. That is important. Okay, so I'm going here, and even this person has an administrator role, which actually manage sandboxes. So what I will do, I will create a new sandbox here. I don't want to use this because something is working on here. Maybe it is taking a long time to replace everything. Maybe it will error out. So I'll create a new sandbox. Batch 3, day 1, version 2. So I'm going to save it. So it is mandatory. So whenever you want to do any customizations, make sure sandbox is created. Once it is created, make it as active. Then go to whatever page you wanted to go there and do customizations. That's more important. That's what you have to do. Okay. And pages are two kinds. One is a global page. One is an application level page. What is a global page? It is called a global page. If you wanted to, in this global page, we know certain actions like creating the categories, creating the page entries, creating the announcements. All these things can be modified using the announcements, appearance, themes, structures like that. On top of it, if you wanted to hide this home page, or if you want to hide this notifications page, or if you want to hide this accessibility page, okay, I got it. Set as active. Some setting is, oh, I should not set this one as active. I should set as, yeah, it is active. Now, if you wanted to modify, customize any of these things, for this, these changes are, it is a global page. So example, if you want to customize this page, you have to go here and customize global page template. Means, why do we call it a global place? Because whatever screen you go, if you go to personal information, these things will be available. It's a global page template which is available across all the pages. That is why that is called a global page template. Okay, see that it is available here. Any screen you go, those things are available here. To modify that, typically you have to go to the global page template. If you want to modify the individual pages, then you have to move to the customized pages. That's the difference. When you click on the customized pages, that is the time it will ask what level you wanted to do the changes. Do you want to do the changes? Time code is specific to, we have OTL, so we don't have nothing. Not to worry on this one. Do you want to do it at organization level, country level, or site level? Okay, so some screens we have other thing called role level, which is available here, which is not available in this screen. Some screens has a provision for that. Once we enable what level you wanted to do, then the page composer will enable. It is called a page composer. This screen is called Page Composer. Okay, using Page Composer, we do the customizations. And they have another tool called Application Composer. Application Composer is actually has more features, adding the more customizing the customization of the using Application Composer has more features. In the SaaS model, only CRM sales, only Sales Cloud has access to the Application Composer. No other modules have access to the Application Composer. Okay, but if we go to the PaaS model, you will have Application Composer access to all the applications. Application Composer, we are going to talk about the Page Composer in detail tomorrow. This Page Composer has a limited options, and Application Composer has exhaustive options where we can do many more things. That is the tool. Okay, so till now we have learned. So what happened to this? See that the connection has failed because it took long time. Okay, so till now we have learned multiple tools. Basically, again, I'm going by tool: appearance, structure, announcements, page deep links, and these business objects, page integration, project custom objects. These all belongs to the Sales Cloud actually. So in the Sales Cloud, when I say Page Composer, this page integration has that option, and custom objects has that option, and the business object has the option. These three belongs to the Page Composer, and remaining everything will be available for all the modules, and only these are available for the Sales Cloud. As this instance has access Sales Cloud licensing, we have this enabled. If you go a typical other Fusion applications where we have only FSCM or only HCM, you won't be seeing these links. You will be seeing the structure, preferences, announcements, deep links, and uh, uh, and these things. Whatever we have, report analytics, security console. I will talk about these two things later. So these are available by default. Okay. So what we'll do tomorrow, we'll start about the Page Composer, and then we will go with a couple of exercises, various ways of customizing the pages, and then we will go with the expression language. Using expression language programmatically, how we can control the page level features, how to hide, how to modify, how we can make one field properties depending upon another field. Those things we'll create based on EL. So tomorrow we'll discuss about those things. Okay, so yeah, can conclude for today's session. If you have any questions, ask me, else we can drop off.
Hi, Lakshmi.
Hey Pradeep.
Hi. I just wanted to request you. I mean, can you request Ravi to upload the videos? He's not uploaded for last 2 weeks.
Oh really?
Yeah, I sent him an email yesterday, but there was no reply.
Oh
So maybe you
okay.
can just maybe send him an email requesting him to upload. Maybe
Sure,
busy.
sure. Basically, I am sending on daily basis. Basically, every day. Let me send it right now.
I hope it's only not my user account. I mean, I just want to ask other members here. Have you checked that the videos you have the videos up to date?
Yeah. Does anyone has?
No, it's not. Ravi is not updating videos.
Yeah, so because I was just thinking of revising everything.
Right, right. So sure, I will.
Just a simple request to him, like please upload the videos.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. I will do. I will do.
send
So
him.
basically, all the videos from my side every day I'm sending actually. So you
Yeah,
see the time.
last video he has uploaded is May 10th.
Oh, May 10th. See that? Okay.
That's the last one he uploaded.
So I will send that right away. So video since. Okay, so yeah, I just sent it. So
Thank you, Lakshmi.
no problem. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, whatever session we had, I think it is understandable, and I think I'm not going a little faster.
No, it's for me, it's very good.
Okay, thanks, Pradeep.
So I'll see you then tomorrow, Lakshmi.
Okay,
Take
see you,
care.
Pradeep. Yep, see you.
Okay, bye.